Have you ever felt small just because you couldn't find the right word in English? That's how I felt. My name's Emma. I'm 34 and I had prepared for months. I memorized answers. I watched videos on how to introduce myself, how to sound confident, how to explain my experience. I even practiced my smile in the mirror. This was my dream job, at an international company where I could finally grow. I wanted this so badly. But when the moment came, I froze. The interviewer smiled and said, "So, tell me about yourself." My mind went completely blank. All the words I had practiced disappeared. I opened my mouth. Nothing came out. Then I tried to speak. I am, work 5 year in marketing. Very good. She looked confused. I felt hot. My face turned red. I knew how to say it. I really did. But the pressure, the fear, the silence, it broke me. I smiled nervously and added, "Sorry, my English not very comfortable." She nodded politely, but I could already feel it. I had lost the job. The interview went on, but I don't remember most of it. I just kept thinking, why now? Why does this always happen when it matters most? Later that evening, I sat on my bed, still dressed in my interview clothes. Tears rolled down my face. Not just because I failed, but because I felt like I was never going to make it. I wasn't lazy, I wasn't stupid, but every time I tried to speak English with real people, I felt like a child. Have you ever felt like that? I started to think maybe I was too old to learn. Maybe English just wasn't for me. But then, something strange happened. I got a message from a friend. He said, "Don't give up. You just need to speak more. Practice in real situations, not just with books." At first, I ignored it. But later that night, I opened YouTube and searched, "Learn English by telling stories." That's when I discovered something important. Language tips from this part. Here are a few phrases and expressions from my story, and how they can help you too. I froze. This means I was so nervous or scared that I couldn't move or speak. Example: when the teacher called my name, I froze. I went blank. When you forget everything suddenly. Example: during the test, I went blank. I forgot even simple words. I felt small. You can say this when you feel embarrassed, weak, or insecure. Example: when everyone laughed, I felt small, not very comfortable. This is a polite way to say you're not confident. Example: I'm not very comfortable speaking in English yet. Don't give up, a phrase we use to encourage someone to keep trying. Example: even if you fail, don't give up. Mini lesson: present perfect versus past simple. In context. In my story, I said, I had prepared for months. This is past perfect, used when something happened before another action in the past. I prepared before the interview. Later I said, the interview went on. Past simple. It happened and is finished. Try to notice this kind of structure in real stories, not just grammar books. Before we continue, let me ask you something. Have you ever been in a situation where you knew what to say, but just couldn't say it? Write about it in the comments. I read every story. And remember, you're not bad at English. You're just not comfortable yet. That can change. Well, let me continue my story. Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right, but still going nowhere? That's exactly how I felt after the interview. I had followed all the advice: take a course, watch videos, study grammar, learn vocabulary. But the truth was, I never actually spoke English. Not really. Not when it mattered. Not to real people. After the failed interview, I almost gave up. But that night, something changed. I clicked on a video called Learn English by Telling Your Story. The speaker was calm. Her voice was kind. She said, "You don't need perfect grammar to speak. You need courage." That hit me. I paused the video, rewound it, listened again. You don't need perfect grammar. You need courage. I didn't have that, but maybe I could try. The next day, I downloaded a language app that connects you to people who are also learning English. I created a profile. Name, Emma level, intermediate goal, speak without fear. My hands were shaking. I stared at the screen. What would people think of my voice? My mistakes? My accent? Then I thought, I've already failed once. What do I have to lose? So I pressed call. A woman in Brazil picked up. Her name was Anna. She smiled and said, "Hi, I'm learning too. Let's be brave together." Just like that, I had my first real English conversation. We talked about our favorite movies. I told her I liked The Pursuit of Happiness, even though I couldn't pronounce pursuit properly. She laughed gently and said, "I think it's beautiful. How you try." That night, I slept smiling. It wasn't perfect, but it was real. From that day on, I started practicing English differently, not like a student, but like a person who has something to say. I stopped worrying about sounding smart. I focused on being understood. I recorded myself speaking for 1 minute every day. I started with things like, "Today I made coffee." "I feel tired but proud." "I want to speak English without fear." Sometimes I cried during the recordings, not because I was sad, but because I finally felt free. 3 weeks later, something unexpected happened. I got an email from the same company. It said, "Dear Emma, thank you for your time. We have a new opening in the communications team. Would you be interested in speaking with us again?" My heart stopped. Did they want to give me another chance? I replied, "Yes, thank you. I would love to try again." This time, I didn't memorize answers. I practiced real responses. I recorded myself every day. I had coffee chats with strangers. I even started thinking in English when I was alone. I wasn't perfect, but I was ready. Language tips from this part. Let's talk about 5 useful expressions from my story. Doing everything right, but going nowhere, means you are working hard, but not getting results. Example: I studied every night, but my speaking didn't improve. I felt like I was doing everything right, but going nowhere. You don't need perfect grammar. You need courage. Reminder: speaking is not about perfection. It's about trying. Tip: repeat this phrase to yourself before speaking. What do I have to lose? Used when you have nothing to risk by trying. Example: I failed before. What do I have to lose by trying again? It wasn't perfect, but it was real. Accept your mistakes and value the experience. Use it when your English is not perfect, but people understand you. I started thinking in English. A big step in fluency. Try saying small things in English in your head during the day. I'm hungry. What time is it? I have to call my mom. Mini tip: real English versus textbook English. In real conversations, we often use short, emotional sentences. Textbooks say, "I have been learning English for 3 years." But real people often say, I've been learning for 3 years now, still not fluent, but trying. Start speaking like you, not like a grammar book. Pronunciation tip. Practice saying these emotional words out loud. Brave, try, fail, understood, free. Say them with emotion. Don't just read, feel them. Let me ask you something. Have you ever spoken with someone in English and felt proud afterward, even if it wasn't perfect? Tell me in the comments. I want to hear your story. And remember, fluency doesn't come from fear. It comes from connection. Let me ask another thing, so we can continue. Have you ever surprised yourself by doing something you thought you couldn't? That's what happened the day of my second interview. This time it was online, over Zoom. Same company, new position, and a different version of me. As I waited for the call to start, I felt my hands shake again, but this time it wasn't fear. It was energy. Nervous, yes, but also ready. The screen turned on. There she was, the same woman who had interviewed me before. She smiled. "Hi again, Emma. Nice to see you." I smiled back and said, "Nice to see you too. Thank you for this second chance." That sentence, that one simple sentence meant everything to me. Because last time, I couldn't even form a full sentence. And now, here I was, calm, clear, confident. She asked me, "Why are you interested in this position?" And I answered, "I believe communication is more than just language. It's about connection, and that's something I've worked hard to build, especially in English." She nodded slowly. I could see her expression change. She wasn't just hearing my words. She was feeling them. We continued talking for 25 minutes. Was my English perfect? No. Did I forget a word or two? Yes. But here's the difference. This time, I didn't panic. When I forgot a word, I just said, "Sorry, I'm searching for the word." It's like when you guide someone. "Oh, yes, mentor." And she smiled. "That's exactly right." At the end of the interview, she said, "Emma, I can see how much progress you've made. That speaks louder than anything." I thanked her, closed my laptop, and just sat there. Not crying, not shaking, just breathing. It was over, and I had finally spoken like myself. 3 days later, I got the email. "We are pleased to offer you the position." I screamed. I laughed. I almost dropped my phone. But most of all, I whispered to myself, "You did it. You really did it." The job came with new challenges. I had to join meetings in English, write emails in English, give feedback in English. But this time, I wasn't afraid to make mistakes. I started a small habit. At the end of each workday, I wrote one sentence about what I was proud of. Today, I shared an idea during the meeting. I helped a colleague understand a problem. I made a joke in English, and people laughed. These small victories, they changed me. Because learning a language isn't just about fluency, it's about freedom. Freedom to speak, to be understood, to connect, to grow. Language tips from this part. Let's take a look at 5 more expressions you can use in real situations. Second chance. A new opportunity after a failure. Example. She gave me a second chance, and I made it count. Calm. Clear, confident. 3 adjectives you can aim for when speaking English. Try saying them out loud before a conversation. It helps. I'm searching for the word. This is a natural phrase when you forget vocabulary. It buys you time and shows effort. Use it instead of freezing. That speaks louder than anything. A nice phrase to show actions are stronger than words. Example: your improvement speaks louder than your mistakes. Small victories. Little wins that give you motivation. Celebrate them. Example: I understood a full podcast today. Small victory. Mini lesson. Speaking with confidence. Notice how I didn't use complicated grammar to sound professional. Confidence comes from being clear, not complex. Compare. I have participated in multiple strategic activities regarding marketing development. I've worked on many marketing projects, and I love finding creative solutions. Use real verbs. Use short sentences. Use your voice. Cultural note: what interviewers really want. Many English learners worry about grammar in interviews, but most interviewers want this. Can you communicate clearly? Are you confident and honest? Can we work with you? Your accent, your small mistakes, they don't matter as much as your attitude. Before we end, let me ask you, what's one small victory you've had in English recently? Maybe you understood a movie, or spoke up in a class, or introduced yourself to someone new. Write it in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else, and if you're feeling stuck right now, remember this: you only fail when you stop trying. Speak badly, speak slowly, speak nervously, but speak anyway. That's how I found my voice. And if I can do it, so can you. Thank you for listening to my story. Now tell me yours.